Fighters Only Television, and we're here at the Clarion Hotel in Stockholm, Sweden, a couple of days out from this weekend's UFC on Fuel TV 9 event. And sitting next to me is the man who was supposed to be headlining that show, Mr. Alexander Gustafsson. Obviously, kind of a bittersweet week for you. You've glad to see the UFC return, but obviously disappointed that you're off the card.
Yeah, it's been terrible. It's been the worst time in my life so far in my career. I can tell you that. I lost once in my career, but this is even worse. It's been a circus. It's been a roller coaster. But it is what it is, and you know, I feel for Gegard. I feel for the fans, and that's the worst part.
And when you say circus, do you mean the process you've had to go through in terms of getting your eye checked out, the cuts and this and that, or do you mean like all the sort of media circus questions and that kind of thing?
Yeah, it's been a circus. It's been in my head. It's been from I've been fighting the whole week. Me and my team to just get this fight. Make this happen. And just a few days ago, this wasn't a problem. I didn't see coming in my wildest fantasies. I will never believe this will be happening. I couldn't even see. It's so far away, but now it's happened. Everything went so fast, and I've been training my ass off. It's been best camp in my career. I'm in the best shape ever. I'm ready for 10 rounds. I'm super hungry to fight, but the last session I did some pummeling, some wrestling drills, and I just bumped my head into a thing that keeps the post. A post that keeps the cage wall up. And I felt it, and it started coming down blood, and I was thinking, okay, it's a cut, it's bad, but still I go and stitch it up. It's no problem. I will not train anymore. I cut my weight, and I'm ready to fight on Saturday. That's what that was 100% for me. Yeah. So I went to get the stitches, and the doctor said, like, here in Sweden they're very sensitive when it comes to blood and when it comes to everything. So I didn't think about that no more, and then they called me and told me it doesn't look good, and since then it's been a roller coaster.
When you say sensitive towards blood in Sweden, do you mean, was there maybe an element of you were thinking about what the political effect might be if your eye opened up and it was a huge bloody mess of a fight, that kind of thing, or was it strictly a safety issue?
It's a strictly safety issue, first of all, but at the same time, the sport is very new in this country. We just found out. I've been training. I always train for 5 rounds. That's what I do always. Even if it's 3-round fight, I train for 5 rounds. But like a couple of weeks ago, I just found out it was 5 rounds with me. So it's very, you have to, everything is very strict because it's so new still. But for me, it wasn't a problem. I was supposed to fight. I will fight. That was my mindset. But from one day to another, now I'm sitting here, just try to survive. The days. Try to. I can't think about it more because it just goes crazy. I have to do something else. I try to help my guys out. I try to, be around as much as I can. We're all sportsmen, and I try to do what I can do.
Because I read, I think yesterday or today, there was a small quote online from you from some website, and I think they must have misinterpreted you, because they had you down as saying, Alexander doesn't seem that bothered, it's happened, I've just got to get on with it. And I thought, he seems to be taking it quite well, but I think maybe they've kind of underestimated. I mean, there is nothing you can do about it, but it doesn't mean it doesn't drive you crazy.
No, it's been crazy, I can tell you that, and this has been fucked up. I never felt this way. And I can take it. Okay, it's a fight. Okay, it's that and that and that. But still, I feel for my opponent, the train at least trained as hard as me. I feel for the fans, and it's it couldn't be. It's just it's just fucked up, and that's what's bringing the most pain. And but at the same time, I can't go around and think about it. I can't go around and try to dig the grave deeper. I have to try to focus on stuff around and be doing something else, and I can do more now. It is what it is.
All the reports said this week Alex still wants to fight, even with the cut. But that would have been incredibly risky. If you took like 1 or 2 decent shots there, that cut's going to open, the referee might stop it. You might get a loss on your record on cuts, which, you know, in hindsight, you would probably have preferred to go through this now rather than suffering that kind of loss. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean. And the thing is, you know, you will never know, you know. And I can say, with this cut, I will take the risk every day in the week to fight, no matter what. I'm telling you, I had the best camp ever. I've been training my ass off, and you know, I will go up there. Even if people would not advise me to do it or whatever, I will still fight. You know, that's who I am, and you know. But I can't do nothing now. You know, it is what it is, and I try to do as much as I can and think about other stuff. And you know, I can't do me. You know, it is what it is. What can I say? I'm like.
There's nothing you can say.
No, nothing I can say. You know, so.
How did you rate Musashi then in terms of like your level of opponents? You know, one of the toughest, or because obviously your confidence must be surging coming off the Shogun win.
Yeah, you know what? I rank Musashi to be one of the toughest opponents so far, because he's hungry. You know, he's hungry, and he's a smart fighter. You know, I see Musashi as more dangerous than Musashi in Shogun.
Really?
And yeah, I do. And for me, fighting Musashi in my home city, you know, in front of my fans, you know, it's something I wanted for a long time. But it wasn't my day. It wasn't meant to be.
So you've been replaced now by your teammate Ilir Latifi, and he's not very well known. Can you tell us something about him?
I've been training a lot with him. He's a great person, first of all, and he's a great athlete. He's very serious, and he's a strong guy. He's a very strong guy, and I will tell you one thing, that he's going to give out a fight on Saturday. That's for sure.
He's like a wrestling-based fighter, is he?
Yeah, he's a wrestling-based fighter with a lot of tricks. So you know, it will be a great fight, and I can't wait to see it.
And the very last question before we let you go. It's probably too early to talk about. Any idea when your fight might be rearranged? You're next going to be back in the ring?
I don't know yet. No idea. Let's see what happens. You know, I'm gonna sit down with my team on Monday, see what's up, and you know, I'm fit. You know, I want to fight. So whenever, whoever, as long as it takes me to the championship.
How long have they said it's going to take before you can have contact on the eye again?
About 3 weeks, something like that. I don't know. Yeah. So I will be back on Monday. So, and you know, let's see what happens.
Alexander, thanks for the time, and we'll see you next time.